These are the solutions for the third practice quiz for quiz 7 in the third trimester of Algebra 2. Okay, the removal of outliers to the right would have what kind of effect on the mean? Okay, it would mean would move the mean back to the left, closer to the median. So if you removed a very large value, that means that your average would be less, moving the mean back to the left, closer to the mean. And you could go the other direction with that as well. The mean of the data set as well to the right of the median. Okay, so again, now you're going to be skewed to the right, and there's an outlier that lies to the right. Okay, equally spaced left and right. So now you've got outliers both sides. So it's like a weight on both sides, which would have no effect then on the mean that you would be calculating. So again, we have these values here. So 80% times 0.5 plus 95 times 0.2 plus 74 times 0.3, and then divided by 1. So we're doing this guy down here, that's the 1. Okay, number 4. So you have an average of 18 with 6 numbers. So do 16 times 8. The sum is 108. You take 1 away, so there's 5 left. And the average is 16. So 5 times 16 is 80. Then subtract the 2. The difference is 28. Okay, 55 ducks weigh 8 pounds. 77 weighs 6. What is the average weight? Okay, so 55 times 8 plus 77 times 6. And then we want to divide that by the sum, the count. So it's the sum over the count. That's the best way to think about it on this problem. This is a great concept when doing any calculation of any mean. That's always the case. Okay, so two-way tables. We're looking for the intersection of speaking a foreign language in a math grade less than 90. So that's 10. And then notice the sum, 60 total plus 80 total, you counted the 10 twice, over 145. What percentage of students speak a foreign language? So that's 80 out of the total of 145. And then given that they have a math grade less than 90, so that total has got to be your bottom. And then that they do not speak a foreign language would be 50 out of 60. So again, this bottom one is different because you're just talking about a piece of the table there on that last question. Okay, same thing here on these problems. Go to the calculator soup and enter these in and do your calculations. And then this shows you exactly how to do these. So actually, let's do one of these sets of numbers here. Let me get to my calculator soup. So let's clear it out. And then you just go and you put in these values. Now it's a little bit of tedium to do it, but this is far better than a calculator in doing this. 8.2, 9.3, 3, 9.3, 9.2, 5.2. Let's see here. Yeah, good. 0.53, 0.67. 0.58, 0.63, 6.1, 33, 20, 8.9, and 71. And you want to choose sample and then go calculate. Okay, so here are all the calculations that we need. And the mean is kind of down here in the middle. And again, you can use the relative standard deviation. Well, I guess that's not quite exactly the same value. I think they're using the coefficient of variation. So you better do the calculations like I show you. So let's make sure all of my answers are good. I believe they are. Range is good. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you would end up with the same. It would be fine if you use those values, even though they're not the same. You would answer 9 correctly for sure. Let's get this back up now. So they do give different ones here, but you would answer. You'd end up answering 9 correctly. So it's probably best, so I don't make a mistake in the grading, that you do the mean minus the median over the mean, make the absolute value, and then here the standard deviation divided by the mean, and then compare those so that we don't mess things up. So A ends up for both, it's more skewed, the mean is more skewed, and then there's greater spreading of the data in set A. Okay, and then set B, you would go and enter all those values, do the calculations, and do the same thing. Okay, so these are the solutions for the third practice quiz in quiz 7 in the third trimester.